Good afternoon, good morning. This is Mark Johnson from Loyalty360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. I want to welcome you back to another edition of Loyalty Live. In this series, we talk with leading agencies, technology providers, and consultants in customer channel and brand loyalty about the technology, trends, and best practices that impact the brand's ability to drive unique experiences, enhance engagement, most importantly, impact customer loyalty. Loyalty Live allows for a deeper assessment of some of the challenges and opportunities that we, Loyalty360, see in the industry as we talk to the number of brand members we have on a regular and consistent basis. It allows these amazing thought leaders to give their perspective on some of these challenges. So today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Natasha Janic. She's the Senior Product Marketing Manager, Loyalty Management for Salesforce. How are you today, Natasha?
Hi, Mark. Thanks so much for having me. I'm doing really well. Excited to be back on another Loyalty Live to talk all things Salesforce loyalty.
Absolutely. It's been a couple of months, but looking forward to discussion as always. And as you know, we like to start these on a more personal level to get to know the individual that we're speaking with. So first, I would love to know a little bit about you, your role at Salesforce, maybe your background. That'd be a great way to start this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I lead product marketing for Salesforce's loyalty management product that launched early last year. I've just celebrated my 3-year anniversary joining Salesforce last week. And prior to joining, I was actually in product marketing at another loyalty tech company. So I guess you can say loyalty is kind of my passion, my hobby, my area of expertise, perhaps.
Okay, great. A fun fact about you. Do you enjoy parasailing? Do you like to jump out of planes, scuba diving? Do you have 14 kids? Well, what's maybe a fun fact, something you enjoy outside of customer loyalty?
Yeah, I wish it was that exhilarating, but depending on what you view as fun, I am a huge reader. And kind of am trying to be an amateur book critic, posting my reviews for, like the handful of friends that follow along. But my dream is to have a home library complete with like a sliding ladder across the bookshelves, very Beauty and the Beast vibes. But that's what I spend a lot of my time doing outside of loyalty.
Okay, great. How do you account for the digital books? Do you read books digitally by chance, like an Audible or do you listen to, or do you read books digitally, like at a Nook or I'm sure what the Amazon equivalent is? Do you do that as well?
No, so I am a steadfast like physical book reader.
Okay.
I don't have a Kindle. I don't have a Nook or anything like that. I'm very purposefully purchasing physical books. I just love having them in hand. I love seeing them start to amass. I think I've used up all the shelves on my bookshelf now, so they're kind of all over my home at this point, wherever I can kind of jam them. But yeah, I am trying to build that library collection. So
there you go, great.
Purchasing those physical copies still.
Well, you should definitely join the Penguin Random House book collection, their loyalty program. They've got a good one.
Ooh, good to know.
Yeah. For those who may not know Salesforce, I'm sure everyone's familiar with Salesforce, some of their more traditional offerings. Can you tell us what you do within Salesforce, how you do it, industries that you're working with?
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit about Salesforce, founded in 1999, with our original CRM, which is our Sales Cloud, expanded the offering to service marketing, commerce, industry clouds, and most recently Slack. So my role within the organization was launching and leading product marketing for our new loyalty product. It is part of our collection of marketing cloud products. And essentially what I do is I brought this product to market, help to introduce and educate our customers and partners on features and functionality. And I really work across industries. I think that we are seeing a lot of demand from a variety of industries outside of, the traditional retailer or travel or hospitality brand that we're probably most familiar with loyalty programs. We're seeing cross-industry interest. So I'm seeing some pretty cool use cases. So I do work with our, industry-focused marketers to kind of position loyalty and figure out what those use cases are, and what we can do to best help customers in that specific industry. So we're doing this in retail, consumer goods, manufacturing, financial services, comms, media, you name it. Everyone's really talking loyalty now.
Okay. You recently published a customer loyalty guide, the Reimagined Loyalty Playbook. Can you give us a brief overview of the guide, why you decided to publish it and what readers can expect to get out of it when they read it?
Yeah. So over the last couple of years, as we've launched this product and are meeting with customers, and even in a lot of the research that we were doing, we saw some pretty dramatic shifts in consumer behavior. And many of our customers are really looking for best practices to navigate, kind of this new era of loyalty. So the guide is really meant to serve as a starting point for companies that are maybe looking to launch a new program or reimagine what they already have in market. So you can expect to find things like, how do you prepare to even launch a program? What are some of the things that you need to consider? What are some of those boxes that you need to check prior to, designing a loyalty program? And then some considerations to keep in mind when you are building that program design around, what your consumer or what your customer prefers, what makes sense for your business. And then we talk through, how do you launch successfully? How do you keep customers engaged throughout? And then most importantly, how do you measure success? So we've kind of broken it out into 4 chapters that are, it's kind of the play-by-play of how you would kind of think about launching and maintaining a program.
Okay. You talked about redefining loyalty, and there's a great deal of interest in customer loyalty. It's growing. Brands kind of struggle at some point. They may have technology doesn't work, or they may need to bring in some additional technology to enhance customer loyalty. What do you mean when you mention customer redefining loyalty? What does that mean? And what is your definition of customer loyalty today?
Yeah. So I think it starts with, today's consumer is more digitally savvy than ever before. They expect personalized experiences when and where they want. We've also found that they're more willing to switch brands. Our most recent State of the Connected Customer report came out just a couple of months ago, and we found that 71% of consumers have tried a new brand in the last year alone. Now, that leaves a lot of our customers asking, does customer loyalty even still exist? And the answer is yes, but it's more than the points and the rewards that we are most familiar with. So in exchange for sharing the data that consumers know to be extremely valuable, they expect those personalized, consistent experiences across every interaction. So loyalty becomes more than just what the program is offering, but how is it impacting the entire customer experience?
Okay, great. When you look at customers' expectations, there's been a great deal of discussion with regard to how customers are changing, how brands should respond to that, privacy being a concern, some of the technology challenges that exist. What do you see as a brand's, how brands may be changing, or how customers' expectations may be changing? And then how should brands be responding to these disparate changes?
Yeah. So I think it all starts with making sure the customer is at the center of everything that you do. That should be the mindset, and that should be the approach that brands take. And then it's about knowing that customer. We have more information than we probably take advantage of, but you have to make that data work for you. Loyalty starts with knowing your customer and bringing that data into a central location to not only use it for your loyalty program, but across your organization. And then in addition to that, when you think about, how should I configure this program? What are some of the perks, benefits, offers that I should be sending my customers? Think about what experiences your customers value. Every individual brand's customer base is different, even if they're operating within the same industry, within the same sub-vertical. So you might have customers that love a discount, and that is their main motivator for doing business with you. Great. Use that single view of the customer and that information to send them promotional discounts. However, be very aware that you likely have another segment of customers that value things like experiences, exclusivity, community. A discount may not move the needle for them, or worse, you're giving them a discount on a purchase they were already planning to make. So you need to have flexibility in the technology you're using in order to aggregate that data into a central location and market to many different customer segments and be able to adapt to those changes in real time. So seeing those analytics in real time and saying, okay, we're seeing a dip in XYZ segment. We know these are their interests. These are their typical behaviors. So these are the types of offers, promotions, and marketing communications we should be sending them.
Excellent. You mentioned the playbook has looks at some of the different strategies out there that may work or could work. What are a couple of the best new strategies, or maybe they're not new, but what are some of the best loyalty strategies brands should be considering or putting into practice, that can help them in their customer loyalty efforts, and why do you think they're successful?
Yeah, so I think some of the best programs out there engage customers on a more emotional level. And our State of the Connected Customer report found that 63% of consumers feel an emotional connection to the brands they do business with the most. And that was up from 52% back in 2020. So having that emotional connection with a brand is super important, but it can manifest in a variety of ways, depending on your customer base and depending on your brand values. So for example, Nike and Sephora really focus on building a community. Whereas Nordstrom really focuses on the feeling of exclusivity with their anniversary sale. Those are things that are important specifically to their customer base. We have a retail customer using loyalty management who wants to deliver the same personalized experience in person as they do online. And we know that's a big challenge for a lot of brands, but they're embedding loyalty data into their clienteling app. So what their store associates then have that customer data right in front of them and can provide that white glove experience that's important to their customers, right? They listen to them. That's what they value. And then finally, we have an energy company who wants to promote more sustainable behaviors. So they're actually rewarding their customers for engaging in sustainability efforts, which I think is a super great way to kind of bring in some of your brand values, whether that is sustainability, giving back to the community, specific charities and things like that. I think those are all really great ways to kind of expand your purview on what, your loyalty program can be.
Excellent. A lot of technology changes right now, metaverse, fractional share ownership, virtual reality, that can create unique experiences, drive engagement, enhance that customer loyalty. When you look at virtual experiences, what's working there? What are you seeing in relation to experiential rewards, virtual experiences within the loyalty sector, and what's actually working?
Yeah, so I think we're in pretty early stages of the metaverse and Web3. However, these more virtual experiential activities can really differentiate a brand. So it's certainly something we want our customers to start thinking about. I think things like NFTs and crypto are becoming more popular as a reward or a perk for a loyalty program. And then we're also seeing some brands and companies actually popping up that allow customers to do things like own fractional stock in exchange for points. I really think the next phase of the internet and Web3 is really going to allow for a lot of exploration, specifically in providing really interesting and frankly, more cost-effective virtual experiences. But what I would advise brands to think about is kind of what we've been talking about throughout this conversation, is that what's relevant to your customer? Does your customer value an NFT, or would they prefer some other type of experience? It can be really easy to get distracted by a shiny new object. So I think, walk in with the mindset of testing, learning, and iterating. And that's really going to require, as I mentioned before, that real time and even predictive analytics that can kind of tell you, hey, this new virtual experience that you're testing out really isn't doing what it's supposed to. And that allows you to pivot quickly. So I think just having that mindset of, exploration is going to be really beneficial for brands moving forward.
Okay, great. Well, Natasha, it's great speaking to you as always. Great hearing about some things that Salesforce is working on, but also getting your perspective on some of the technologies that brands should be considering, and also some of the strategies I think are being very important to brands to consider as well. So thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Yeah, thanks so much. And I enjoyed our conversation today.
Absolutely. And thank you everyone for listening. Make sure you join us back for another edition of Loyalty Live. Have a wonderful day.